I've been waiting a long time for this.
You're not gonna punch your way out of this. Come on! Hey, everyone.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Oh, Captain? Big fan?
Captain America Civil War.
How does it feel to have the Scarlet Witch now be part of the Avengers? And did that dynamic bring something different to the character this time around?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I was able to play with at the start of the film. Just even like how much she is adapted to living in more of a Western world. How does that affect her dress? How does that affect her accent? Like just things like that I get to geek out on with specifics that maybe no one else would recognize, but it's fun for me. And then also to have a great journey written for her and for her to be conflicted about how to use her abilities or when to use them in this film was a nice thing to play. Very quickly in this film, she's in a difficult position.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she is, but I wrote down Kick-Ass, by the way, about
Thanks.
you early on when I was watching.
Jeez.
So, Jeremy, you have this
Yeah.
relationship now between Hawkeye and Scarlet here.
Mhm.
What was this new friendship like for you to play? Fun? That's the word I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's it kind of coming off of Ultron and into this. You know, again, there wasn't a lot to explore. I think there's a lot more to explore, and I think the dynamic is really sort of interesting to where I don't know if it's a like a sort of brotherly or uncle type of thing, kind of looking up, where she's the more powerful, like monster creature that's just, I think, probably the most powerful in the universe. And then there's me with no powers, but she's, I don't know, there's an interesting dynamic between them.
And I think there's definitely a replacement on her end of like she's the only person she had in her life was her brother after her parents, and
Yeah.
now she has no one, and he for some reason feels like someone who really saw her through all of that.
Yeah.
Especially with Quicksilver.
Yeah,
at the
there's
end.
family ties to it, kind of thing, kind of
Yeah.
big brother, kind of interesting things to kind of look into.
You hit on the costume a little bit. Did it inspire your inner superhero at all?
Yeah.
You used the words geek out earlier, so I'm guessing.
Yes. I'm getting more excited every time we get to create more of a superhero costume. It's my first time getting to be in a superhero. We did for that 1 second at the end of Ultron.
Right.
But this is my first time wearing a superhero costume, and part of me was like, well, when do they go and change? Like, how fast does that work? And I just kind of had to ignore that. Yeah, it was really cool to create a new silhouette for her and a new image.
Jeremy, you can be a tough guy, and now this is more hand-to-hand combat for you this time out. Did you like that more?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I like about the character, because everything is pretty practical. You know, there's no special powers or flying or doing anything that's you can't just do with his hands or his feet or his arrow. So I'm always about that.
But it's an attitude, too. You have to have that attitude to be confident that you will survive whatever these crazy epic battles are.
Or you don't, you know what I mean? Or you don't.
Or you don't
But that's
survive.
but also that's why I like him, because, you know, he brings in that sort of, again, he can die at any moment, you know.
Should they connect with anything that the Scarlet Witch is about?
Oh, I hope so. I hope people, I think there's a lot to connect with everyone's character. It doesn't matter what side you're on. I think that's what makes these films so much fun to watch and so enthralling for so many people, because everyone kind of attaches, for whatever reason, to one or two characters. And it's because hopefully they're these fully fleshed out people with flaws and have to go through difficulty and overcome it.
What was it like when you stepped onto that tarmac to film that big epic battle, besides hot?
It was really interesting.
Sweaty?
There was a lot to coordinate for some of the wider shots of like, at this point, you know, Sebastian does this and you do this and Spider-Man does this, and you're kind of like, oh my goodness. And that's kind of exciting to see how you could see how it could kind of connect in editing pieces, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the coolest part was like, you know, we're kind of lined up in the thing, because the rest of it's like so disjointed, so many pieces that, you know, a lot of CGI happening there.
But it was nice to stand as a team. That was fun.
That was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like you didn't want to hurt each other, but it was fun to punch each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like family fighting, you know.
Robert Downey Jr. said that every film should have two directors. he felt that experience was great. What was it like for you with these Russo brothers?
Yeah, I don't
mean,
disagree.
they could be, one could be on the crew and be talking to the actors.
Well, especially like for a movie this size, and there's so
lot
many
to work
different
on.
storylines and so many characters, and they try to please the fans and try to serve the actors and the story. I mean, there's a lot going on for any one person. How Joss was doing it, I have no idea. He's probably retired now because of it.
I think so.
You know, but the Russo brothers together work together very well.
Yeah.
And it's a real joy to work with those guys.
Hi, Vale here. Now, staying with the superhero movie theme, did you know that Spider-Man was almost called Flyman? No, I'm not joking. When Stan Lee was asked to create a new superhero to follow in the footsteps of the extremely popular Fantastic Four team, the legendary creator thought up Marvel's next big thing after spotting a fly on the wall. According to Lee himself, that got him thinking about a superhero that could stick to walls. Flyman and Insect Man were a couple of his ideas on the hero's name before coming up with Spider-Man. So what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below, and I will leave you with some superhero movie playlist to watch. See ya!